Tina,
Hi.
thank you so much for joining us today. And, your video was inspiring. And full disclosure, that video was shot. If you watch the video, you're like, wow, it's windy. It's always windy here. So it could be a little deceiving.
Yeah.
I spent last night in Wilmer watching my son, and I felt like I was wind whipped for an hour and a half. It was so bad yesterday. But that film was shot pre-snow winter.
Yeah.
I don't think we'd had snow yet.
No.
But now we finally meet, and we're here. So Tina, thank you for joining us. And I hope people have seen the video. If not, go on our YouTube, watch the video.
Yeah.
But Tina, I want you to take us back to 2005 because that's where your story really starts. What was your life like when your mom was diagnosed with cancer?
Oh, so at that time, it was so hard, right? Because she just celebrated her 50th birthday, September 22nd. We all were together, we had dinner, and then all of a sudden, she went to the doctor right after that because she was completely yellow. I went to go see her at home. She was completely yellow. Her eyes were yellow. She was obviously very jaundiced. So we took her to the hospital. They did a bunch of testing. And at that time, we weren't thinking it was anything serious. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
They did a biopsy on some peculiar looking moles on her. And it took a while to come back. And by the time it came back, we found out it was breast cancer, and it had already metastasized. It was already all over, everywhere. She was at home during this time. She was like slowly stopped eating, and you could tell like she was really sick. It started to become obvious that there was something real going on. She was like out of it, or like really lethargic. And so I had to call the ambulance to take her to the hospital. And we were in emergency, and the doctors did a bunch of x-rays, and they came to me and they told me that the breast cancer had spread throughout her body, and that she wasn't going to make it. So he told me that I had to be the one to tell her. And so, which was horrible. I understand, like maybe they wanted to come from someone she loved, but at the same time, to put me in that position in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to tell her. She immediately got mad at me and started screaming at me in the emergency room. She was, I'm not going to say exactly what she said because it's explicit, but she was upset, and she thought for sure she had liver disease, something like that. So when I told her that, she was immediately in denial. And that was like super hard. Just having to tell her that. And that was 3 days before she passed away. So it was so quick from her birthday on September 22nd to now we're in October. And we're at October 29th now on this day.
That's quick.
Yeah. She stays in the hospital. October 31st comes. Dave is at home with my kids, watching my kids. So I can be at the hospital with my mom. My mom had like best friends from work that were there. She had people that were coming and going all day that day. And she was like, I don't know if she was in a coma or not. I can't really remember, but I know she was just sleeping. So maybe they had her under. And she waited all day that day. And then that night, it was just her and I, and she was like motioning me, and I went over there, and she started thrashing around. She started thrashing around. All this like red like liquid was coming out of her nose. It was coming out of her eyes, coming out of her mouth. And I didn't know what was happening, And then the doctors came in, the doctors came in, and they said that she's passing. And that her lungs were filling up with liquid. And so that she was passing, and just to keep talking to her. It happened so fast. Like I didn't know she was going to pass away. Like I didn't realize, but it happened so fast. So I just talked to her, and I told her that it was okay, that she could go, that, her and her dad were really close. I said, you can go be with Papa. And it's crazy. So now, like, watching her pass away, and she kept looking off. The night before, everybody was there, and she kept looking off into the corner of the room like she was seeing something. I don't know what that was, but there were moments where she would like wake up and just kind of look around, and then she would go back out. So yeah, so on December 31st, she passes away. Kid you not, like a few minutes after she passes away, Dave sends me pictures of the kids in their costumes. And I was like, Mom, wait. I want to show you the kids in their costumes. So, yeah, but she'd already passed. So I'm like, as hard as that was, I'm super grateful that I was the one that got to be there with her in her last moments, and got to be there with her the last 6 weeks of her life and do the best I could to take care of her. But then the next day comes and I wake up and I cannot function. I can't get out of bed. I can't do anything. I'm just emotionally, mentally, and physically just not able to get up.
Well, you talk about that in your video. You talk about your dark place.
Right.
And, what did the dark place look like? Because we didn't really get into that. Mm-mm. But I want to kind of touch that now. Like, what was the dark place?
Well, I remember driving around in my vehicle a lot, and I was parked in the parking lot, and I was just broken, just shattered and crying. And I had an old friend just happened to call me up. She had heard about my mom, and she just called me up, and she was like, hey, I know like you're going through it right now, but come over, we're having a party, you're going to feel better. I can, basically boost my spirits. We have, a lot of party goods here. So I was like, okay. So I went over there, and I was like, maybe it'd be good for me to be around people. So I go over there, and they have plenty of alcohol. There's drugs there, and there's lots of people. And they offered me, I was drinking, they offered me drugs, and like, that's definitely going to make me feel better. It's going to,
numb the pain.
Yeah, numb everything, and I'm going to feel better. So I do it, and it did. It numbed me, and I was able to just kind of bury my feelings and just go on with my day.
What do you think when you're in that spot? What were you searching for?
I think I was just searching for maybe peace. Just I was searching, like, I didn't want to be hurting like that. I didn't want to feel what I was feeling.
Because as a Christ follower, you're in a different spot now than you were then.
Oh, for sure.
And when we go back to your mom, it brings a very visceral reaction from you, But the thing is, I know your perspective has to be different now, because what seemed like a sucky situation, you got to be with her. Yeah. Like, I would love to be with my dad when he takes his last breath. Like, to me, as a Christ follower, that's celebration.
Yeah.
And the way you view it now has to be different than how you were viewing it in 2005 when you were taking the hit off the drugs and drinking the alcohol. Right?
Right.
Talk about that. Talk about your perspective now, just for that situation. We'll get into more of what God's done in your life, but just in that situation.
So I think, honestly, because of the way that I grew up, I think that I just didn't have the tools needed to get through this. And my tools were always alcohol and drugs. That's what I turn to when I'm hurting. And that numbed everything. It kept everything numb. And problem is I also have an addictive personality. So I can't just do it that one time. And especially doing that when I'm in so much pain, that was my crutch.
So we do meet Dave in the video.
Yep.
And I'm biased. I really love Dave. I think he's like one of the coolest guys
Me
I've
too.
met. Yeah, you're married to him. I'm not. But
he really is.
I mean, he can make a mean breakfast.
He
just
really
saying.
can.
He can. But Dave says something pivotal in this story. He says, I prayed for Tina. And we don't always know who's praying for us and who's watching us and who's loving us in a way that we can't see.
Yeah.
Talk about your relationship with Dave at that time, not now, at that time.
So at that time, he was a friend. And at that time, he would hang out with us. He would play with my kids. He would babysit my kids. He would watch our house when we would like go on vacation or something. He was always at our house. Like he spent weeks with us. Like he was always there. At this time, he was literally our best friend.
He was playing the long game.
Yeah. Yeah.
When guys hang out with the ladies that much, they're definitely playing the long. They're like, I'm gonna get her. Eventually.
Yeah.
I like that.
I know. So yeah. So but he was a Christian, and I'm telling you, every Sunday without fail, he would go to church. That's the way he was brought up. His values, his integrity is like unmatched. Like I've never.
But Tina, it's the opposite of what we hear as a pastor a lot of times. It's women bringing their kids to church, and the man is like, I really just don't want to go. And you've got this guy, Dave, who loves Jesus, and he's praying for you, and he wants to be your man.
Yeah. It's like, first of all, he should have not wanted to be with me. He should have not been with me. He should have left. He should have abandoned me. But he said that that he was going to be there for me no matter what. He was the one person that when I was strung out, I never knew where I was. I was always in a situation I shouldn't be in, at a place that I shouldn't be. And he always came and got me. Like no matter where I was, no matter how I was, no matter how broken, he would come and get me, and he would put me back together. So I remember one time when I had gotten beat up bad, like shoe marks on my back, like covered in bruises. He came and picked me up, and he put me back together. Like he took care of me till I was better.
This is a perfect example of the way Christ sees us. We're all you, right? Like, listen, we're all broken. And, I was saying this to somebody last week, where God sees brokenness, where we see brokenness, God sees restoration.
Yeah.
And Dave saw you in a way you could not see yourself at that time.
No way. And let me tell you, like, I prayed in my addiction because I was around some really scary people and really scary things happened. And so I prayed too. But he was always on the outside praying. He always wanted to take me to church. As I was, like, who would want to take me around their family? Now, I knew his family very well also. His family is full of strong Christians. His father was a great, strong man of God. We lost him 2 years ago, but he instilled such important values, him and his mom, Dave's mom, and put such important values in their children. And it literally saved me. And I know it was God that saved me, but did it through Dave. And let me tell you, Dave will tell you that if he would have left me like he probably should have, had he left me, he 100% believes I would not be here today. I would have died out there in my addiction, or would have been killed, or something would have happened, but I would not be here.
So with Dave, we're going to get back with Dave, but you found yourself at Celebrate Recovery because you knew you'd hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Your rock bottom, you described it right now. That's pretty rock bottom.
Yeah.
Getting bruises. What made you willing to walk through those doors at that point?
I was tired. I had been arrested 8 times in 2 years. I was tired. I was so sick and so tired. My kids were with their father in Minnesota. So I was missing my children. I missed myself. I just wanted to be better. I was so sick and tired of being that way. And I just didn't want to do it anymore. I was willing to, now I was getting stronger. I was willing to put in the work. to get better.
Was there ever a moment where you're like, if I keep pushing Dave's buttons, he's eventually going to walk?
100%. All the time.
And there had to be that motivation of, well, I've got to get better because I've hit the jackpot.
Yep.
And I'm about to
100%.
crap it away.
Yep. Even to this day, I am just so grateful and I respect him so much as a man of God, as a Christian, as the one person that was there for me. I still to this day refuse to put him through anymore because he's gone through so much with me. And so now our relationship is so good and it's so easy. And it's because of the grace of God. It's because of Celebrate Recovery.
But again, I just said you hit the jackpot. But in Dave's heart, he was like, I'm not giving up on her because I hit the jackpot.
I know.
And that's what makes y'all so perfect for each other.
And I'm like, how could he ever think that about me? Like,
I like the part in your story where you said God didn't just heal you, he gave you purpose. Mm-hmm. So many Christ followers, so many people, I've talked to people all the time. I want to find my purpose. What's my purpose?
Yeah.
And what did God teach you during that season of finding your purpose?
So during that time, I mean, my purpose was to help other women who had gone through the same thing, you know, whose stories are like mine. You know, I was able in Celebrate Recovery to do the steps. Oh my gosh, we met the best of friends there. And let me tell you, Dave, is very introverted, would take
Dave?
me.
No.
He would take me to Celebrate Recovery because I never would go to meetings by myself, right?
Yeah.
He was with me all the time. He would sometimes sleep in his car until I was done. And the guys from Celebrate...
He wanted to make sure you were going.
Yes,
too. There
and
was that.
Staying there.
And staying and not sneaking out and going and going down and getting alcohol or something.
So the guys from Celebrate Recovery would go out to his car and say hi to him and invite him in for snacks and coffee. And eventually he started coming in, you know, but yeah, it was funny. Like he just was a no matter what guy. And he's like, I'm going to be with you no matter what. And if it takes him going to uncomfortable places with me to get me better, he was willing to do it. And Celebrate Recovery really gave me that purpose. I really worked the program and I was consistent with going. I met other women and eventually they asked me to run the women's group.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Huge gift. Like, why would, you know, and like at that time I had no self-esteem. So it's like, are you sure you want me to run it? Like, are you sure? Like, you know, I'm too broken for that. I can't do that. But that healed me even more to see women come in, to be able to connect on them on a level of really feeling like I was making a difference. Like these women needed women who have been through what they went through to let them know that they can make it through the other side, you know?
So how long have you been recovering?
I have been in recovery since April 16th, 2008 was the last time that I used. And
that's 18 years.
18 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. No relapses, nothing, you know, yeah. And the beginning was...
Well, you do live with Dave.
I do.
I'm sure he keeps
Let
an
me
eye.
tell you, he used to, just to keep me clean, to keep track of me, he would take me to work with him and I would just stay in the truck all day.
Wow.
Yeah, just to make sure that like he knew where I was, what I was doing, like I wasn't, and it was just...
He still cares that much for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just was white knuckling it at that time and he did whatever it took. Yeah.
So you talk about in your story, we get to 2017, you got to come back to your son.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite lines, Tina called me and she said, we're moving to Minnesota. And I'm like, okay.
Yep.
I just love that line.
Yeah.
So you moved to Minnesota. What did restoration look like with your son?
Oh, so my son, 2017, was in a really dark place.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the hospital. I got a call in the middle of the night that he was in the hospital and he was suicidal. And so I was like, I have to fly out there. So the next day I flew out here. I did not know how long I was going to be here. My objective at that time was to get him to go to California with me and to live in California to get him out of here. But at that time, he wouldn't go he just wouldn't go. And so he had nowhere to go at this time. Everybody pretty much had given up on him. He was being irresponsible. All this stuff was happening. But it's like, it's because he didn't have anybody. He has no safe place. He has no stability. So probably after 2 weeks of living in a motel out here, when he got out of the hospital, he came to the motel with me, and we just stayed. He just stayed with me. And I called Dave when I couldn't find anywhere for him to stay or to be, and I couldn't get him to go to California with me. I called up Dave and I was like, we have to move. We have to move out here, and we have to move out here now. And I was terrified that he would resent me someday because he's so close with his family. I thought for sure his family was going to hate me. But he said, okay, that's all. Simple.
That's because he has the peace, right?
Yeah.
And he knows this is God's plan.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful you guys made it out here, or we never would have met.
Right.
So there's that.
Right.
Since moving here, you talk about, all the things. I love at the end of your story when you're like, this has happened, this happened. Tell us a little bit about listeners, because they've heard where you were, and talk about where you are now.
Oh,
like, what is God doing with you guys?
Oh, what isn't he doing? Yeah, my life is so different. And it comes with hard work. Like, you have to be willing to want to do the work. And God just continually showed up in my story. Even in my addiction, God put people in my path all that time, that even though I was in my addiction, put people in my path that I knew it was from him. Like, he was always, I felt like God was always trying to throw me a lifeline. Mm-hmm. And it just, no, I was just like not doing it. And then once I grabbed onto it, he has healed me in ways I never thought we could be healed. Starting with my relationship with my kids. So we moved out here from that phone call with Dave. We moved out here in 5 months. I had to pick a place to live online. So, wow. Yeah. So yeah, we picked, thank goodness I worked for Target.
Did you rent when you rented like an apartment?
We rented.
had to do that too. When we moved here, we were just like, this place looks good.
Yep.
We never saw it until I started moving my stuff in. Yep. So I know that feeling. It's scary.
It's scary. Yeah. So yeah, we lived there for a year, and then my middle daughter had a really good friends, and we became friends with them. A year after renting, they said, hey, we have a house and we're wondering if you'd like to live there and rent the house. It was the same amount we were paying for our apartment or our townhome. Yeah. So we moved in there and we rented from them probably, I think we moved in there like 2018, beginning or summer of 19 maybe. We moved in there and we have been there ever since, but they wanted to sell it and asked us if we would want to buy the house.
Well, yeah.
I know. So we were like, yeah. So so then we bought the house. So talk about God moving in our lives. I mean, it's just been incredible. Like, just, let me tell you, when we moved out here, everything was so easy. Everything fell into place. It was like boom, boom, boom. Like, we didn't struggle at all to find a place to live, to find a house, to find like friends. Like, we didn't struggle at all trying to move out here. Dave didn't resent me. He told me, he said, I love it out here. We will never move back to California. Excuse me?
Well, it is expensive in California, and they are a little cuckoo at this point. So there's that. Yeah, it is. And you've seen your relationships grow. I've seen Dave,
100%.
We love Dave on the men's ministry. And, he's in leadership development.
Which is
with Pastor Matt. Yeah. So I see so much in Dave. And you're a coach on Sunday mornings. Mm-hmm. You do so much, and your smile just radiates around our building. And
thank you.
Tina, I want to close with, if someone's sitting here today listening, carrying the grief, the addiction, the shame, the regret, what would you tell them right now?
I would tell them to reach out to someone you trust. Find a program to work. And not just any program, but find a God, Christian-based, biblical teaching program that you can make real connections at. And I'm not knocking AA or any, I'm not knocking any of those. Those are great, but those didn't help me. I needed Jesus to intervene on my behalf. So if you're going through this, like, reach out. Reach out to me. Reach out to, somebody that really loves and cares about you. Find a group in your city that you can go to. There's Celebrate Recovery here in Hutchinson.
Yeah.
And you can go to that. You can do it.
So I want to close with this verse, Joel 2:25. I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten.
Amen to that.
Tina, when I hear your story, that's a verse I think of. God didn't just rescue you, right? He restored you.
He did.
And I love seeing you grow. And I'm so glad you shared a few minutes with me today.
Thanks.